So what we will do now is to take 1 point from each group without repetition. If the issue was mentioned into another group, you can mention another point. Would you type it? Then
I could do if someone else passes the mic.
then we will see it on the screen. It's in capital letters. So just the main point. So who likes to start? You have the mic, so you can.
Well, we've got. Should I just pick one? Yeah, like so for instance, your association, you're surrounded by devotees, maybe you're surrounded by the brahmacharis who are all getting married, and then most of the community of your temple, for instance, they're all householders, and they may say, well, you know, everyone's getting married, and most devotees, brahmacharis getting married eventually, you might as well start considering getting married yourself, and other devotees around you and getting married, and encouraging yourself to get married. So not so good association.
Okay, so the issue will be my friends get married. Isn't it? That's my friends get married, so then there is a social pressure that, okay, you have also, your days are counted. Like Kalamakananda Swami Maharaj, he always makes jokes with that. Statistics are against you. So this is good. Thank you. Come pass the mic to the next group.
We have this point of in order to stay at brahmachari and be well situated and satisfied, we have this point of facilitating study time in order to be satisfied and well situated. In some situations in the brahmachari ashram, because of management or other services, brahmacharis don't have sufficient time to really dive into the philosophy, and when this is there, the chance to stay brahmachari is much higher.
Good, good. So study time, that's a very important aspect. In order to remain fresh, we need to study Shastra. And a good brahmachari program, it is compulsory, it must have a study program, otherwise it's shaky.
One point. One point we made is before considering any future options, we first establish in the practice of brahmachari principles.
Okay. So in what way this is an issue? It sounds more like a principle, or that in what?
Because an example is brahmachari wants to enter the Grihastha ashram. Preparation, education is needed to make that successful.
Okay, good. So establish brahmacharya before doing anything. Like in the old days, the preaching was made in such a way as if everyone was going to remain a brahmachari. That was kind of a preaching. And the Grihastha ashram was not an option. And if it was an option, it was a fallen option. So therefore it was not a worthy option, because they are fallen. But any person who had a little self-esteem would not consider that, because or you had to, or either you had too much self-esteem, you had to assert yourself in order to say, no, I should do it, or you will not do it. And nowadays, many times it's the other way around, in that devotees get married without any basic training very quickly. Because anyway, we're going to get married anyway, so do it as soon as possible. Look at them, they got married when they were 55, so I do it when I am 20, I can do some work. So that principle, it's actually an issue, it's an important principle to take into consideration, to establish a solid foundation, no matter what we are going to do in the future. Next.
Am I using the brahmachari ashram to avoid responsibilities, both on on all levels: personal responsibility, a social responsibility, emotional and spiritual. Am I, just using it as a facility to avoid growing up?
Okay, so yes, am I hiding under the brahmachari ashram? That will be, and of course there will be. This is just a comment, making some comments on it, because we don't have so much time. Usually we will have half an hour more. We'll have more discussion. There will be an unhealthy and a healthy way of doing it. One unhealthy way will be, I spend the brahmachari ashram, as sometimes Prabhupada will talk about eating and sleeping, like having an easy life. In this way, this will be unhealthy. Or if I do it as a shelter, as a spiritual shelter, the word ashrama is related to ashraya. If it's a spiritual shelter, it's perfectly fine. We take shelter of the ashram we are in. But if it is done as a device to don't deal with our anarthas, hiding, sometimes happen. People, doesn't mean because we are religious or monks, we do not have anarthas. You may remember a story of Ramanujacharya and his disciples, the brahmacharis and the grihasta disciples. The brahmacharis were criticizing the grihastas. Remember that story? And Ramanujacharya wanted to teach a lesson to them. And then he changed all the clothing, the ashram, the copings and the dhotis, and the brahmacharis started to fight. Whereas the grihastas who were very wealthy, they actually, when Ramanujacharya sent the brahmacharis to steal from the grihastas, the grihastas, the wife was sleeping, and she noticed they were coming to steal. She was thinking, oh, these poor brahmacharis, they must be really hungry. And she turned around so that they could steal the other part of the jewels in her body. So this may be the case in some occasions, so it's a good point. And next?
Just before I ask my question, Maharaj, I was just wondering whether it would be an idea during lunch to put up, we didn't arrange any paper for brainstorming, but all of the suggestions that have been made, it would be really nice to see, I think, blue tacked on the wall, because we're only making one point at the moment, but I bet there was a lot of issues.
Yes, that would be ideal, that would be nice. Only because of time constraint, I'm doing it in this way. But
we have them all written down in the books. I just wondered if somebody would.
If someone likes to take responsibility, that's fine. Usually, what we do when we take one point from each group, we cover most of the points because some points repeat. But okay, there may be some that are not there. What do we do? Because it's now 1:30. It's Prashant time.
I was thinking that could be done during lunch, and then that's for coming back to the following session, just for people to see and get prompted and stimulated by other people.
So you say that one member of each group takes responsibility to write them down.
Something like that, or at least pass over their
Do
memories.
you have 3 chart paper?
I'll get that.
Maybe we can put it
Hmm?
here. Maybe Prabhu can put it in the computer. Maybe we don't have to put it here. We have technique.
Yeah.
Yes, but if we don't want to miss anything from any group, then it has to be written. I suggest, considering the time constraint, if we could just finish to take the points, and then we start 50 minutes later in the afternoon. We take 50 minutes more. And then we start at 4:45, because otherwise it will break. We have how many groups? 1, 2, 3 groups who didn't say, no? How many groups you can say?